Passing out free money. All right. I'd like to call to order. Wait, do we have a? Yeah, we have enough people. All right. Call to order the Rock Valley College Board of Trustees, Community College District number 511, regular board meeting for November 18th, 2025 at 5:17. Sorry about that. Roll call.
Budia. Here. Goldsmith here. Saltow. Simpson. Here. Nelson. Trojan.
Here.
Blake.
Here.
Here.
Gorski. All right.
And please note that Trustee Nelson's arrived at 5:17.
Okay.
So do we have any notification that Crystal might contact us remotely? I am not aware of anything.
No.
Okay. So I don't expect a board member by attendance, by other means of physical presence. So communications petitions, do we have any public comment?
No public comments.
Okay, I have one piece of communications. It's a little bit of information that I was passing around. The Boone County Museum of History, the Funderburg House, is having a fundraiser December 13th, 2025. They've invited, it was addressed to the Board of Trustees, so I'm just passing along the comments to the Board of Trustees, the request to help out their mission of the Historical Society there. And I will pass along the packet to Mr. Trojan, if anyone else wants to see it. But again, there's a fundraiser, $30 per ticket on December 13th, 2025. Plus they're offering tours of the facility on December 2nd, 9th, and on the 16th. And they're also looking for sponsorship opportunities for the museum there. So I'm going to pass this along to Bob Trojan. So if there's no other communications, recognition of visitors.
No visitors?
General presentations.
No general presentations?
Okay, I make a motion to adjourn. No, approval of the minutes. Committee of the Whole, October 14th, and regular board meeting, October 28, 2025. I'm asking for a motion to approve both of those minutes.
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Nelson, seconded by Trojan. Roll call.
Kudia.
Yes.
Goldsmith, yes. Simpson.
Yes.
Nelson.
Yes.
Trojan.
Yes.
Blake.
Yes.
Gorski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right. Okay, we're at H already, action items. And do I hear a motion to approve the claim sheet check register October 25 BR 8329?
So moved.
So moved by Bob Trojan, seconded by,
Second.
Simpson.
Kristen Simpson. Okay. Roll call. Oh, first of all, any questions on the claim sheet? Going once, going twice, three times. Okay, roll call.
Kudia.
Yes.
Goldsmith, yes. Simpson.
Yes.
Nelson.
Yes.
Trojan.
Yes.
Blake.
Yes.
Gorski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, we're at purchase reports. Do I hear a motion to approve purchase report A, FY 2026 purchases, BR 8330-A?
So moved.
Second.
Was that by Trustee Simpson and Nelson? Okay. Any questions on the purchase report? Any changes on the purchase report since the committee of the whole?
No changes to report A.
All right. If there's no questions, roll call.
Kudia.
Yes.
Goldsmith, yes. Simpson.
Yes.
Nelson.
Yes.
Trojan.
Yes.
Blake.
Yes.
Gorski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. So, do I hear a motion to approve purchase report B, FY 2026 amendments, BR 8330-B?
So moved.
Motion by Nelson, seconded by
Second.
Blake. Any questions? Any changes since the committee of the whole?
Yes, this is a report that has been added for the board. This is report B, which is FY 26 amendments. This is for Testing Services Corporation for an increase to the previous approval of 22,000. The increase requested is 22,000, bringing the new total expenditure to 62,000, not to exceed. This is for additional testing of the Downtown West project. Are there any questions regarding it?
So the amount was previously approved to a certain amount, but we're being asked to approve an extra amount, and this was not on the agenda at the COW because we didn't get in time for that. We weren't
Right.
aware of it. But it's a required service or fee.
Yes,
Has the service been provided already?
No, it has not.
All right. Trustee Nelson.
We did discuss this as well as the other purchases at our committee of the whole, it seems to me.
But yeah, it
I
wasn't
understand the
an
agenda.
official
Yeah.
purchase report, correct? Any questions? Roll call.
Kudia,
Yes.
Goldsmith, yes. Simpson,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes?
Trojan,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Gorski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, do I hear a motion to approve the athletic golf program NJCAA Division II request, BR 8331?
So moved.
Motion by Trojan, seconded by
Second?
Nelson.
And I
Discussion?
want to speak to it a little bit.
Go ahead, sir.
Our distinguished auditor, William Bill Crowley, was on a championship team that went to, or a golf team that went to nationals. Didn't discover, it was in, I believe it was in New Mexico, and it was specifically in the restricted location. Did not discover any aliens, but they didn't win the nationals, but they did very well. And I think it's time we reclaimed our golf time.
Any other comments? Any other disappointments about not finding gold in South American countries? Okay, all right. Hearing none, roll call.
Kudia,
Yes.
Goldsmith, yes. Simpson,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Trojan,
Yep.
Blake,
Yes.
Gorski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Do I hear a motion to approve the addition of bowling as a scholarship-funded athletic program, BR 8332?
So moved.
Motion by Trojan, seconded by Blake. Any discussion? Trustee Nelson.
Once again, I would say that our bowling teams in this area are heavily recruited by schools that have bowling teams, and we certainly want to keep our good bowlers here and provide the best education for the best price, that as we always do for all of our students. We want to keep them winning championships, and I think we need to do this to do that.
Any other comments? Could someone, go ahead.
I was just going to say that I want to make a note that VP Pyre, you said bowling never stops, and I will never forget you saying that. It's in my notes, personal notes. That's all.
Just pin it somewhere.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'd just like someone to remind the board and the public where the scholarship funds are coming for this program.
This is a budgeted expense based on Vice President Olson securing those funds for FY 27, 8, 9, and 30 over the next 4 years via, I forget what vehicle, fund transfer. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Just like to make sure we're all out in the open about that. All right. If there are any questions, roll call.
Kudia,
Yes.
Goldsmith, yes. Simpson,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Trojan,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Gorski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
That ends for action items. We're moving into other business, new business.
Regarding new business, I am going to defer to Vice President Jinks to give us a JCSM update from this wonderful, exciting weekend.
Oh, gee. Trustees.
Thank you, Dr. Spearman. Yeah, I wanted to update the board of an incident. So on Saturday, November 15th, a concerned citizen entered the JCSM, which is the Jacobs Center for Science and Math, JCSM, with a box containing an unknown substance. Personnel from the building, made contact with the individual and then contacted the Rock Valley College Police Department. The PD, following our emergency planning protocols, contacted the Rockford Fire Department because they're a specialist when it comes to hazardous materials. They, in turn, contacted the Rockford hazardous material team and actually deployed them to the site. The fire department was able to determine the chemical compound, and in the abundance of safety, they determined it would be best to have the Rockford Bomb Squad come and actually remove the chemical due to its characteristics. So we were able to get the bomb squad on scene. We evacuated the building. The chemical was safely removed from the building and there was no injuries reported. So all in all, it went very well. It's just one of those situations that, unfortunately, somebody thought it would be a good idea to bring the chemical into the building, and we had to deal with it.
What's the chemical?
Or were there any arrests?
It's being investigated. We do not believe there was ill intent. The chemical wasn't a particular type of acid that, if you do not know its state, can become very volatile. And we were not sure of the status or the state that the chemical was in, its length of time, its how long it had been, sitting, things of that nature. And with certain chemicals, as they sit longer, their characteristics can change and become more
Dangerous?
Yeah, that's a good word, dangerous. So that's why, out of the abundance of caution, we contacted the fire department and went through all the proper protocols.
So just curious, how was it found? Was it sitting on a desk? Was it on a floor? Or was it,
Outside?
what was the condition of finding it?
The individual, well, we didn't find it. The individual brought it in.
Oh, I see.
So they claimed they didn't know what the chemical was, which has created more of an issue, because when you don't know what it is, you have to take some more steps.
So we don't know if he found it or if he himself brought it in.
All I'll say is that
Investigation right now.
there's still an investigation pending, so I can't really.
Yeah, just trying to understand.
Yeah, I understand, but it's an active police investigation,
Okay.
so.
Got you.
When President Spearman called me to report me, to notify me, and so I advanced and notify you all, my first inclination, I had a flashback to some 1950s movies where somebody finds something they don't know and they bring to the local doctor or the local high school teacher and say, hey, you're the scientist, figure out what this is. And it kind of had that kind of feeling to it, that it wasn't any malintent or anything, because why would you purposely bring it to somebody and they know who you are and stuff like that. So, but
I also just want to say thank you to our police department. Thank you to Rick Jinks. We take these things serious. We look at it as a crisis, and our protocol kicks in, and everything that was supposed to happen from our end did, and we did it the right way. So I just want to say kudos to them, and also with college communications as well for being there and being available to address the situation on campus and with the media. So thank you.
right. I mean, and the communications were great. The President Spearman called me, and at the same time, people were texting me, asking me about the post on social media and on the website. I said, I'm on the call right now. I'm just learning about it right now myself. So thank you for everybody being on top of this. And just after the investigation's done, just give us a summary. Thanks. Appreciate it. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank
Just
you.
a good job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Any other new business?
Yes, sir. So this week we have an opportunity to apply for a federal grant, and right now regarding the federal grant that give us opportunities to submit for topics like AI. And we are definitely interested. The grant is due December 3rd. So we're going to outsource that grant to make sure we get it in time because of the short turnaround. But in doing so, I had to reach out to Chairman Gorski because as we outsource it, it's going to put us over the amount that we are approved to have regarding the vendor. So Chairman Gorski gave us permission to still move forward with the vendor, which is Region 1, move forward with the vendor and not to exceed amount. The reason why we're sharing it with you is because typically we would have to bring this to the board first for approval, but we won't be able to do that now until our December committee of the whole meeting is when you will receive it. But Chairman Gorski asked that we share it out so everybody understands where we're at in this process. And hopefully we'll remind you again in December so that if you have any questions, we would have addressed it.
So again, the ask is for approximately $17,500 to pay R1 to help us apply for a grant, which may bring in up to
Couple of million.
$2 million for targeted towards a Center for AI Excellence or Education or something like that, a topic which we had just brought up recently and discussed recently at a meeting. And as soon as President Spearman asked, I sent an email out to Vice Chair Kadia and President Spearman, some other staff and our attorney, just to make sure that it was in writing that we're moving ahead, and I gave them a not to exceed 25,000 because I wasn't quite sure at the time, what y'all needed. It sounds like it's 17.5 going forwards, which is in addition to some other monies that we've already kind of given R1. Committed to R1. Yes. Okay, but again, we're looking at a grant upward near $2 million in investment in AI center here. So, any questions? So this will come to us, it'll probably show up in a cow in December and then for a vote after we've already expended the money in December. Questions? Okay.
I would think that with the presentation, we saw the other day, the planning that's been already done would put us in pretty good shape to have a good shot at this award.
And this is why President Spearman wanted to jump on it, and he didn't want to delay, and he brought it up to me as soon as he found out about it. So I appreciate the heads up and everything for it. So thanks. So.
Thank you.
Any other comments? So looking forward to it. So I mean, I'm not personally not a big AI fan, but I think some good stuff could come out of it. So I'm glad. So and thanks again for bringing it up.
Thank you.
Any other new business?
No new business.
So old business, at the last meeting, was discussed about the retreat and possibly kind of a team building or a communication enhancing type of activity. And that was inspired by some comments that Trustee Simpson brought to the board. And then I had some communications with Trustee Kadia, because I know that she probably had similar experiences in her work experience before. And so the tentative plan is to include a no more than an hour of kind of this exercise, but broken into two different parts. And what we're proposing is, after speaking with President Spearman, is that the simple exercise will be to share something either humorous or funny, or maybe not, something about yourself that most people don't know, something interesting, in 2 minutes or less. So even if we have 30 people in the room, and we break it up 15-15, we're going to have 2 half-hour sessions. And I'll be working with President Spearman on the agenda for the retreat to see where we were going to insert those couple half-hour sessions. So I want to thank Trustee Simpson for bringing that to my attention, bringing that back from a conference, and trustee Kadia from getting me to get off my idea, which would involve too much work. So thanks very much. Any comments, Bob?
With regard to the topics, I would hope that we still have the state of the college element with the pre-recorded video and the
And that's what,
all
so
that kind of stuff.
the goal is to have an enrollment update, it's kind of in the form of a SWOT, right?
Yes.
And then Ellen is going to have a financial report. Jim Reed's going to have a report on a legislative update. And then in advance of the whole event, we're going to get these updates. And if we can fit some of the questions we have into the retreat, we will. Otherwise, we'll handle them at a regular business meeting, a COW or a meeting. Is that acceptable?
Okay with me.
Well,
Trustee Nelson?
Well, I think it's a good start for reforming our retreat, which I think is a good idea. Honestly, I think next year we ought to, not this retreat, but next retreat, we ought to consider, I would say, at least half the retreat with just the board and the president.
Okay, and I believe Trustee Trojan has suggested if we're going to do it off-site, to do it in Hawaii, we'll take that under consideration also, so.
Well,
Marco Allen would be a second. Marco Allen would be right, too.
Okay.
Take a vote now.
Any comments, questions? And again, we have time to discuss the details, but I want to thank Kristen for bringing it to our attention. Kristen?
Have we talked about dates at all? Did I miss? We haven't.
The dates?
Talked about the dates of the retreat?
Yeah, it's the last Saturday of January.
Did
Yeah.
I miss that somehow?
Yeah,
probably.
talked about several.
Oh, well,
Can you make
Yeah,
that work?
we nailed that in August.
we did? Maybe
Yeah.
I was gone.
You know, as I remind everybody, we are only here 2 days out of the month, so just, you know, lather, rinse, repeat with us, all right? Appreciate it, so thanks.
It's in the minutes.
I don't take you on minutes. I'll tell you that right now.
That's old business too, but it's nice to have a reminder, so.
I promise
And we're
that I
still
can
trying to
go.
keep it to the same kind of time frame and not extend not extend the event, so. More details coming up in December then, so. Any other questions on that? No other old business? Trustee Nelson?
I will say this, Mr. Chairman, that I did pass up a Bulls game on that date to own to the retreat.
Okay,
I just thought I'd mention.
okay, yeah. It's like the one day out of the year I have nothing planned, and now I have something planned, so, you know, hey, but there you go.
Yeah.
Anything else? No. Thank you. All right, so.
Last thing is the legislative luncheon. Today, we wanted, if you have not RSVP'd, we wanted to make sure that you were going to RSVP and let us know. That is December 9th, the luncheon. And I don't know if everybody had a chance to say yay or nay at this point in time.
The college has a table. You're invited to attend the luncheon on December 9th.
Yep.
Let's just go down.
I've replied.
John's going, Kristen?
Go on.
So, nope, here. Gloria?
I'll be going.
Okay, there you go. So,
Yes. Gloria says yes.
We work for food, remember?
I'm the only pass, so.
Free food.
And I think Kristen.
Yes.
I didn't choose to pick on you, Gloria, but I knew if there was luncheon, you'd be there, so there you go.
You got it.
What, did Crystal say anything yet?
I thought she was interested.
I think she expressed interest at the
Yes.
last meeting, so.
Trustee Gorski is the only one right now that's saying no. Hurwitz, we have everybody else.
Okey-doke. Anything else?
That would be the end of the unfinished business.
Okay, updates and reports. The president's update.
Well, good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to provide an update. Tuesday, November 11th, RVC hosted its Veterans Day celebration. Melena Herman, Program Manager of Student Employment and Veteran Affairs, coordinated the event. Professor David Dozier, I believe I'm saying it right, of Sociology, provided an exceptional keynote. The event was well attended by RVC family and community, Each branch of the military was acknowledged and celebrated. Also, I want to thank Trustee Bob Trojan and Vice President Dr. Keith Barnes for being present at the celebration and for their service in the United States Armed Forces. Additionally, we have at least 16 veterans serving in various roles at RVC, and we appreciate each of them and thank them for their services to Rock Valley College and the United States. Next, I served on a national committee for the American Association of Community Colleges. AACC is the flagship organization about leading, advocating, and advancing the mission of community colleges. I have the privilege of serving on AACC's Guided Pathways Commission. This is an opportunity to discuss with presidents and executive leaders on strategies impacting student success. Our discussions inform the organization's president and board on strategies through the implementation of guided pathways on college campuses. There are other missions as well, or commissions as well. This is the commission that I sit on. The new president is Dr. Darian Pollard. During this meeting, she was able to share her overall vision consisting of 6 directional anchors: ecosystem orchestration, student agency, and lifelong learning. Number 3 is innovation for all. Number 4 is voice and advocacy. Number 5 is data insight and adaptive governance. Additionally, we discussed in our various commissions the most recent AACC report titled Resilient by Design, the Future of America's Community Colleges. These were extremely engaging conversations. This is when all the commissions got together and we were able to speak to how the organization will move forward and how the organization will discuss or use or implement these 6 anchors in advocacy and in leadership across the United States. Last but not least, today I attended the Association of Fundraising Professionals Rockford Area Chapters National Philanthropy Day Luncheon. That's a lot. During the luncheon, there were several awards acknowledging the great work people have done in the community surrounding philanthropy and volunteerism. I'm obviously proud to report that RVC's Phi Theta Kappa National Honor Society was awarded the 2025 Future Philanthropist Award for their volunteerism, fundraising, and overall commitment to the community. Per Rachel Vanderhyde, our PTK Omicron Eta chapter has built a strong culture of service that runs deeper than volunteering. Their members consistently identify real needs both on campus and in Rockford community and take action. Over the years, they've raised funds for national causes like the American Cancer Society through the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk, and for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention through the Out of the Darkness Walk. They also look inward, caring for their peers through food drives and fundraising for the Eagle's Nest Food Pantry right here on campus. Many of their projects blend research, awareness, and service, including initiatives focused on mental health and suicide prevention, support for students with disabilities, and how culture shapes play and learning. Allie Carlson, president of PTK, accepted the award today, so I'll end by congratulating and thanking her and the PTK advisor, Tim Spillman, for their leadership. That concludes my report.
Very nice.
Any questions for President Spearman? Trustee Nelson.
Mr. President, at my training in the for the ACCT, speakers described your organization as a sister organization and kind of in a partnership. Is that how your organization views the ACCT?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Any other questions? Okay. Leadership team update. You walk us through that.
Greetings, trustees. November is recognized nationwide as Native American Heritage Month. Since 1990, when the first Native American Heritage Month was proclaimed, November has been a month to reflect on our nation's history, commemorate the contributions of tribes, and celebrate the unique and widely diverse cultures of America's first peoples. This is from the Native American Heritage Commission website. Rock Valley College observed Native American Heritage Month with Native American musician and storyteller Ron Knutski, who shared the stories, teachings, and songs of the Chippewa Nation with over 75 attendees in the Student Center atrium on Wednesday, November 5th, 2025. Kudos to Lamise Diab, Cultural Excellence and Belonging Specialist, Promoting an Inclusive Community, or PACE, and the rest of the committee for hosting an outstanding set of events to honor Indigenous communities. Second, the Office of Cultural Excellence and Belonging hosted its 2025 Fall Symposium on Friday, October 31st, 2025 in the Student Center atrium with a lively discussion titled Beyond Hearing, the Power of Listening Circles, featuring guest speaker Dr. Randy Cogleton, Executive Director of Student Services and Campus Compact at the American Association of Colleges and Universities, for over 75 participants. Kudos again to Lamise Diab, CEB Specialist, the CEB staff, the Truth, Racial Healing, and Transformation, or TRHT Campus Center committee members, and all the other colleagues for hosting an insightful and enriching experience. Lastly, I am attending the 2025 Illinois Council of Community College Administrators, or ICCCA, conference in East Peoria, Illinois, later this week, along with 12 of my RVC colleagues. Dr. Mark Lanting, Dean of Communications and Humanities, will give a presentation titled Co-Requisite English Pedagogical Structures, Methods, and Results. Dr. Carolyn Gilbranston, Dean of Health Sciences, will participate in a presentation titled Classroom Management Strategies for High-Stakes Health Professions Programs, Fostering Success in Rigor and Regulation. And I will have the honor and privilege of giving two presentations. One is titled Reimagining Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion with Cultural Excellence, and the other is titled The Odyssey of Administering a Social Justice Community-Based Learning Academy. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Any questions?
Nice.
Good, thank you.
Why does it not surprise me? Trustee Nelson.
Why are your titles kind of so understandable and the other ones are kind of thick?
I was thinking just the
No
same
comment.
thing. Your titles make sense.
No comment.
Good evening, trustees. I'll start this evening with an enrollment report on behalf of VP Schneider, who's unavailable this evening. Our fall semester shows a slight final adjustment in the last few weeks with 296 additional students and 2,085.5 more credit hours since last reported, maintaining our performance at 104.2% of budget and meeting exactly the stretch goal at 100% for the fall term. Winterim is showing a strengthening momentum, now with 21 additional students from last report and 58 more credit hours compared to FY25. This represents a continued growth from last week's report. Winterim is now performing 119% above budget and 111% of the stretch goal. Spring semester registration progressed further with updated FY25 comparison data now available. Our current enrollment shows 38 students compared to 3255 this time last year. So a handful of students, 17 students less today than this time last year for spring, so very close. Credit hours currently slated at 33,208, slightly down from this point last year, about 3%. Spring is currently at 68% of budget, with registration still ongoing. The overall picture remains positive, with the college still showing substantial gains across the full year. The pattern from earlier suggests spring enrollment will continue to build as registration continues to progress. With summer one still to come and spring registration continuing through early January, We believe that we currently need approximately 18,841.5 credit hours to reach our goal and 23,841 credit hours to reach our stretch goal of 120,000 credit hours. I'll stop at the enrollment report to see if there's questions.
With all those numbers, which I won't remember if
That's
I want to
okay.
tell anybody, but I will remember one. Your 4.2% year-on-year ahead this year over last year.
Correct.
To me, that's a very significant number. That's the one that'll stick with me as I talk to people on the outside.
Very good.
You're ahead of last year by 4%.
Any other questions at this point before he continues?
Thank you. A couple more things, actually quite a few more things. My apologies. Quite
And
a
thank
lot
you for the
tonight.
pause.
Next, I would like to provide a quick update regarding the questions that was asked on the November 4th Committee of the Whole meeting regarding Chief Yale's report on the annual Clery Act. The report included a reference to new federal legislation requiring the inclusion of hazing data in our annual Clery report. The report referenced this as a hazing policy. I want to clarify that this is not a policy. The Federal Stop Campus Hazing Act is listed in the student handbook and the code of conduct as reporting of hazing and anti-hazing procedure. This procedure is documented under the student code of conduct and is listed as RVC Board Policy 4.10.150 under student conduct. So that reference to student policy was inaccurate as a hazing policy. No questions about that, because I know that came up at the conference.
So for clarification, we do have documentation that's referencing another policy.
Correct.
Correct, and that's fine.
Very good.
Why reinvent it?
Yep,
Right.
just wanted to clarify that because there was a very good question about that last.
Any questions, comments?
All right.
Thank you.
Couple more things. Pleased to announce that Rock Valley College has been selected as a Military Times Best for Veterans college campus. Best for Vets, as it's known, is the largest and most comprehensive ranking of the best schools for military service members and veterans. The ranking looks at services available to veterans, practical information that will help them make important decisions about their career planning, and how to use their educational benefits they've earned through the military service. Congratulations to Ms. Melina Herman, our Financial Aid Veteran Services Manager, the entire financial aid team, and our career services office, as well as many other staff in student affairs and a host of other faculty and staff that provide ongoing support to our veteran students and their families on a daily basis.
So say again, we are the best.
We're listed as one of the colleges in the country as best for vets.
Best for vets, but
Best
one of the
for vets.
best?
One of the best in the country for veterans.
Yeah.
Called
Thank you.
Best for Vets.
Thank
It's a
you.
new designation that we've recently earned, and we're very excited about that.
Too bad. Great.
That's
And do
very
we
good.
have to apply for that?
We did
or
not.
notify?
We
They
just provided the information, that the resources that we're providing our students
That's
and
great.
how we do
I
that.
mean, that's, I have a story to tell when I get my chance, but that's good.
Okay.
Okay.
Quick
Any other-
reminder. Oh, sorry. Ahead.
No, I was just going
I
to say.
got
any
more.
other- I know. Any other questions for him on this point? All right, thanks.
All right. Quick reminder of the International Showcase this Friday, November 21st from 6 to 9 p.m. in the main campus Student Center, Stenstrom Student Center atrium. Tickets are $10 for students, $15 for the public. We are available for purchase in the Student Center on the second floor or be purchased at the door for an additional $2. Again, the event is Friday, November 21st, the Student Center atrium. Finally, I'm sorry, two quick notes. One about our coffee with cabinet this morning that we held for our campus community and students alike. We spent 8:30 a.m. till 10 a.m. this morning down in the upstairs on the first floor of the Educational Resource Center, and just mingled with faculty and staff and students as they came by with the cabinet, and just it was a great engaging moment for the morning to get out and meet our faculty and friends.
How many were there?
I didn't keep a count. I would guess all of the cabinet members were there, and probably another 50 people throughout the morning had stopped by.
I would say around 50 is a good number.
Nice turnout. Last thing, quick update on the women's soccer team. They received a national invitation tournament bid after winning the Region 4 tournament and were seeded 9th. Unfortunately, the team suffered 2 losses to top 5 teams. The event was held in Topeka, Kansas. They lost in pool play to the number 4 seed team and then to the number 5 seed team. Lost on Sunday and Monday, and they finished overall with a record of 17-4-2. And that concludes my report.
See, you always say that. I do listen to you, so I know that you're not done until you say you're concluded your report. So does anybody have any questions on the last items, though?
A lot of stuff, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good, John.
Dr. Pryor, I assume this was a double elimination
It
tournament?
was a double elimination pool tournament.
We unfortunately, it sounds like we lost the first two against higher competition.
Correct.
We're done.
Our seating was great and also painful.
Well, it's a wonderful performance, and we're very proud.
Very, very competitive, just couldn't get that.
The second year in a row you're at nationals, yeah?
Yeah.
Right.
And 80% of our team is currently freshmen, first-year students. Hopeful for a good future.
Yeah. We need some more flags.
I say that still deserves a
Bring home the flags.
That's cool. That's great. Next.
Good evening. I'd like to provide to the Board of Trustees an audit update. Our fiscal year 25 audit the audit work for the college has been completed. However, the annual comprehensive financial report is waiting for the completion of the foundation's audit, which is included as a component unit of RVC. In addition, the single audit, which looks at grants, is essentially complete but cannot be released until the Office of Management and Budget, or OMB, releases its update to the uniform guidance for fiscal year 2025 in order to determine if an additional audit testing is required. We anticipate that the annual comprehensive financial report will be presented to the board at its January committee of the whole and approval at the subsequent board meeting. And we are hopeful that the OMB will have released their guidance and no additional testing will be required for the single audit. Lastly, just a reminder that the Truth and Taxation hearing will be at the December board meeting regarding the levy year 2025. Are there any questions?
Well, I just want to, so audit wasn't delayed just because I didn't reply. We're waiting on the OMB, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Whew. Okay.
No, you're not holding it up.
Trustee Nelson.
Well, that was my question as well, and that is, first of all, I would want to commend Senator Dick Durbin. I'm sure played a central role in getting the government back to work. But how far behind is the OMB? I'm sure they've unlocked their doors, but isn't this, they were out of work for 43 days?
Yes, but the OMB did release a draft back in August, and we are still waiting for the final.
Okay.
Any other questions? Thank you. No report? Well, hello anyway. How you doing?
Good evening, Board. I do have one update. As you are all aware, I often bring you updates regarding projects and change order requests and things of that nature. In speaking with Dr. Spearman, we decided that it would probably be best if I sat down and figured out exactly how many projects are going on currently within the operations division. So I did that. We're gonna give a quarterly update on all the projects moving forward because, well, there's 29 of them active right now. So I want to make sure that you guys are aware of everything that's going on. So projects are in different phases. One would be towards the end of the project. We are working to close the project out, and that's in a very tedious and lengthy process to make sure all the change orders are done, get the change order requests all in, make sure the financing is all done, and get everything signed off of by the architects and engineers. We currently have two projects that are in the closeout phase. One is a security systems upgrade. The second is that tuck pointing phase 1, if you recall, was the tuck pointing, and we had to create a phase 2 because the one wall collapsed. So we have 2 of them in that. We have 12 that are in construction or in progress currently. And I won't name them all, but the big one obviously is the downtown construction project. That actually is under construction. In addition, we have FF&E, or furniture, fixture, and equipment bids that we're working on to get out. We also have landscaping bids and other projects that are going on related to that. So that's a very large project. We have the athletic turf fields replacement that's going on right now. We have the JCSM air handling repair. If you remember, I brought that to the board. That's still in process. We have a replacement boiler in the boiler house that we're working on. We have a lighting upgrade for BST Phase 2 and 3. We have tuck pointing Phase 2 that's going on. We have a couple fire alarm panel upgrades that are going on. We have the third floor build out and elevator that's still going on. We have a BST rigging project that's going on, and we still have the cybersecurity projects that's in progress. So there's 12 of those. We have 15 that are in development and or design. These include the Classroom Building 2 remodel. If you recall, that's a CDB project. We have another security systems upgrade that we're working on. We have the remill of the perimeter road and the roads on campus, which is another CDB project that we're working in the design phase now with the engineers. We have a bridge. We have an additional bridge repair that was discovered. That's the piping underneath, because of the leaks and the problems we had with the tuck pointing. We discovered that the pipes underneath the bridge on the student center are actually rusting out, and we're going to have to figure out how to replace those. We've got a classroom technology upgrade committee going on right now. We've got the fire signage training tower. We've got wireless access points upgrades that we are working on getting information for. We have a parking lot 7 reconstruction, and we have some generator upgrade that we're going to be bringing to the board. So these are all items that we're working on to bring to the board. There's several others. There's ADA stage upgrade for the student center. So to keep everyone informed and to understand what's now present and we're working on for the future, I will be creating a report that we can present to the board on a quarterly basis.
Trustee Trojan first there.
What are you doing on Sundays?
My division is very busy.
Trustee Nelson.
I'm sure he's going to church 3 times a day. I hope that these reports will be in writing.
Yes, they will.
And are we going to be able to dodge the bullet of a PowerPoint on those, or?
I can present it however the board wishes.
My recommendation would be included in the packet. You pull out, you highlight your number 1, 2, 3, pick 3 and go with that. And if you have any questions on it, then it's up to us to ask. Okay?
I love to ask questions.
Okay. And I would also suggest that in my years of having to create either project reports or operational reports, some of the projects turned into operational things like ongoing standing concerns. So if you have anything that turns into a standing operational thing over the course, you can pull it out of your project list, and it's not necessarily done, it just turned into, operations. So it's not that it necessarily lessens the workload, it's just you think about it a little bit differently. This isn't going away. We need to do this all the time, or this one's going to be done, then we get to move on to something else. So, and then that way for us as a list, then we're just looking at completion dates, because if you put operational things in it, people might start asking a question, well, when's this going to be done? Well, this is kind of an ongoing thing, Right. So I don't want you to get hammered with questions about stuff that will never end.
Right.
So, any other questions? Thank you for that update, though. Appreciate it.
Very good.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Good evening, trustees. I have one update for you this evening. Last month, Human Resources reported that the college offered biometric screenings and flu shots to benefits-eligible employees. As a follow-up, we would like to report that 187 employees participated in the biometric screenings. This was a 10% increase year over year in the number of participants. Additionally, 96 employees participated by receiving the flu shot. There was a 26% increase year over year in the number of participants. We'd like to say thank you. We're grateful to our benefits coordinator and RV Care staff for coordinating these health and wellness opportunities for our employees. Any questions?
Thank you.
Well, maybe
questions?
just quick, why do you think that there was such an uptick in the amount of people taking advantage of particularly the flu shot, other than just being mindful of their health? Any ideas?
That is a great question. I don't have a specific idea, but I do think it's mindfulness.
Yeah.
You know, just ensuring that as our seasons are changing, making sure that our employees have every opportunity to be well and continue to enjoy life, come to work, do all those things that they want to do, and that's one way to do so.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you for the report.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I actually have no report, so thank you very much.
Well, hello to you too then. Hi. All right. No other leadership team updates? That's it?
That's it.
Okay, tell Heather we miss her. ICTA.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I just got done with an ICTA meeting on Saturday. Before that, I took the leadership training with ACCT, and it was very well done, and I highly recommend that each trustee take it. Very good speakers and credentials that were quite impressive, including one of the speakers founded Austin Community College, which I think was quite an accomplishment, and they have a lot of national awards for a lot of different things, and they're huge. In any event, at the ICCTA meeting, we didn't have a speaker because of the training was kind of took up our Friday morning. But we had our roundtable, and by far the most interest and discussion centered around AI, and it really generated an incredible amount of interest. It led me, quite frankly, to the maybe inescapable conclusion that community colleges in general are behind the curve on AI. 90% of college students use it, and it's everywhere, and we're way past the. We actually talked about the idea that 3 years ago, the community colleges were like, how are we going to keep this off campus? And today it's a fact of life. The only other thing we talked about really was some local procedures that I think merely serve to give relief to the trustees who participated, because the AI discussion lasted almost forever. Then we broke into our committees. Since I'm the regional chairman, I'm on the nominating committee for various things. We're studying bylaws, and the bylaws that we're investigating and rewriting have to do with what are the duties of the regional chairs, and how do they get picked, what regulation of their duties, et cetera, which is in its own way kind of rich, because this is a time-consuming job, being a trustee, if you throw yourself into it, and you should be throwing yourself into it. So after that, I attended the program committee, and wonder of wonders, our next meeting is in March after the legislative conference. And sometimes we'll meet in Washington, D.C. I don't know if we'll do that now or this year, but there was an agreement that we would, our speakers in the March meeting would address both AI and cybersecurity. And I have to say that there were other trustees and some presidents, but in attendance, and the ones in our region expressed how wonderful they thought our regional meeting was at the airport. On those coattails, Mr. Chairman, I indicated that you would be an excellent speaker at this March meeting, and that was seconded by 2 or 3 of the attendees of that particular meeting. The last thing we go to, and the most important committee really, is governmental affairs. Our lobbyist was unavailable, so Jim Reed gave the legislative update from the last session of the legislature, and those who attended the meeting at the airport, regional meeting, heard what he had to say. That it was somewhat repetitive. The other thing that happened, and that I received a report on, was the government went back to work, the federal government, and we had a detailed analysis from the ACCT folks who are on top of that. I took extensive notes, but it was a big boatload full of stuff that was reported, most of it good for community colleges, but we still have a lot of work to do to impress on Congress the importance of community colleges. So if you have some extra time, I would suggest sending a postcard or letter or card or call. I recommend the written approach, primarily to Congressman LaHood, although we have other congressmen that have parts of our district, or students that attend Rock Valley, and all the community colleges really are in the same bucket in terms of Pell Grants for workforce, funding grants, and if we don't hang together, we'll all hang separately, is how I look at it. And I look forward to the legislative conference to further whatever we can do. So that's the long and short of my report from ICTA. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions? Just a comment. So you should somebody should speak to ICTA and maybe even ACCT and stuff like that. When people say either community colleges or certain business, it might be behind the 8 ball or behind the curve on AI. I think a lot of people don't realize that a lot of what students are using are kind of like, essentially the cliff notes of AI, very poorly written stuff that's a hack and easily looks like it's plagiarized, or photos and stuff. Whereas the team here, whether they know it or not, some of the cloud-based services they have are already using AI-driven business logics. Salesforce solution, everything else is driven by it. Whether or not we're applying it, they've chosen services that use it to help them make decisions for the college going forward and the like. So I'd just like to acknowledge that, because understanding of how stuff is working behind the back end, people don't realize that some of those technologies are already in place and actually being utilized the way they were kind of designed to do, to analyze data, bring it together, and come up with suggestions and/or analysis that would have been hard for other people to do. So, and maybe if some of the institutions aren't aware of that, maybe they really should be, because some people sign up for some of these services and they might not realize what's going on the back end with their data. So, but I want to just congratulate John for his enthusiasm in ICTA and working with President Spearman and President Spearman's staff to bring that regional thing. The people at the table that I sat with really enjoyed the evening, so they thought it was really, really good. And don't volunteer me to speak for any of the other events. Thank you very much. Without asking.
Was that a please? Or?
Yeah, please, yes, I should. Please and thank you. Yeah, you know my motto, please and thank you. Yeah, I should have said that. So. Any other questions for John? Okay. Student trustee report.
Yes. Part of this I will be skipping over is the international showcase, since Dr. Pyre had already brought it up, so no need to go through that. But I will be paraphrasing some of this a little bit as we go. But to the Board of Trustees, the Chair, and President Dr. Spearman, I present to you my student trustee report for November 18th, 2025. Student Government Association update. SGA has wrapped up their work on the Constitution and is now focused on reviewing and amending the bylaws. This process is allowing us to refine our organizational structure and ensure that our governance documents reflect the current needs and best practices for student representation. We started working on that today a little bit, so we're almost done with it. In terms of the bylaws. Friendsgiving and Thanksgiving celebrations for club activities. Many clubs, including Black Student Union and InterVarsity, are holding Friendsgiving and Thanksgiving celebrations within their respective organizations. BSU is hosting a potluck where members will be bringing food to share. InterVarsity is doing something similar. These events are helping to build community and to give students a sense of belonging on campus, especially as we head into the holiday season. Festival of Trees. Rock Valley College is hosting the Festival of Trees from November 3rd to the 14th, where clubs across campus are decorating trees. SGA is participating with the Stranger Things, based upon the TV show, you guys know, themed decoration. This event gives clubs time to create a unique display that showcases their organization's personality and creativity. On November 6th, I attended a lecture hosted by Dr. Matthew Oakes and Mrs. Gilbert about the 4-decade-long battle to desegregate Rockford Public Schools and how its effects continue into today. This was one of my most favorite and most informative presentations of the year. The lecture educated me a lot of the history I hadn't really known before and really emphasized that there's still significant work to be done. Where these issues used to be overt, we've now been dealing with subtle forms of inequality that still exist within the framework of our education systems. These systemic issues impact potential students who could later thrive at Rock Valley College, making it important for us to understand this history as we work to create an inclusive and equitable environment for all students. So we're entering a critical time in the semester, and students are getting into exams, and they're approaching final season, which is coming to us very, very soon. Good Lord. There are only a few tests left for a lot of classes, thank God, and many students are currently writing papers. Over the next couple of weeks, I expect to see increased library usage as students hunker down to study for their finals. This is when campus resources like tutoring, services, and study spaces become especially important for student success. This report reflects my observations of current student activities and events, as well as my evaluation of the thoughts and feelings of the student body at this moment. Does anybody have any questions, any comments?
Questions, comments?
Good report.
Trustee Nelson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. One of the things that that we heard in this last meeting at the ICCTA and also from the ACCT is how important it is to have a student in your delegation when you are lobbying both state legislators and congressmen and United States senators. And along those lines, I certainly hope that you're available to go to the conference, in the legislative conference in February.
Yeah.
And I would ask the chairman to authorize it if he hasn't already. And I heard at least 5 times that a congressman or a state senator or a state legislature or a United States senator will listen a lot longer to a student than he or she will to, an advocate like a trustee or college president. So that's why I make this ask.
Okay.
Trustees Nelson is suggesting that we send you to
legislative conference in February.
Yeah. Would you be interested?
Yes, I would be interested. Very interested.
Ellen, do we have another $3,000 for the young man? You can take it out of my salary. So, let me know if the resources are available. If so, and please work with him on the arrangements. All right.
We've been in the works working with him on it. We were looking to try to do it through the student process first, and whatever they cannot cover, we'll make up. Okay, all right, thanks. Any other comments on the? No? Go ahead.
Thanks for commenting on the work of Dr. Oakes and Paula Gilbert. It's wonderful that they're still presenting this information, the work that they've done, because I know that their work was defunded previously. They were doing work with a grant. We talked about that months ago. So I'm really pleased to see that they're still presenting this information and that students such as yourselves and other folks on campus are able to take advantage of the important research that they did on that project. So thanks for that in the report.
Yeah. To add on to that, I had talked with them, or they had mentioned something within their presentation about this was just a small part of like their research. There was a lot more to it, but the funding just wasn't there for them to do a full-scale research of it. But all of what they did in terms of their presentation was fantastic. I saw a lot of people engaged in terms of like their presentation and asking a lot of questions. So
cool. Thank you.
Okay. And I spoke over him, but Trustee Trojan said good report.
Oh,
okay. Just want to make sure. So, okay. If there are other questions, trustees' comments, I'll start with Gloria.
Okay, well, what I have to say has already been said, but I guess I'll just piggyback on it. First of all, let's see, I'll get my notes here. I appreciate your comments about the presentation by Dr. Gilbert, because I can relate to it, because I think the sad part about it is that I served on the Rockford School Board at the time, and the sad part was that the city was so divided, and so much misinformation was out there. And when I stopped to think about it, it was, oh my gosh, that was at the turn of the century. And it's like, it's still going on, so there's still a need to just remember about including people and just recognizing them as human beings, and sometimes we forget that because we're always so busy with life. But thank you for bringing that up.
You're welcome.
The other thing, too, is Dr. Pyers stole my thunder, but that's okay, I'll forgive you this time. We were talking about the coffee with the cabinet today, and I was asking how I had written down here the zombie coffee. I don't know what that is, but was wondering how it had gone, and I appreciate your giving us a summary, and good to know that there was active participation. And then you both brought up the International Showcase, and I'll have you know I bought 2 tickets today, so I'm looking forward to it this Friday. And I was there last year, and it was very, not only was it fun, But again, the food was delicious. So I would encourage all of you to at least check it out. One little tidbit that you forgot, and that is that you get a $2 discount for the tickets if you buy your tickets before Friday, which I got. Thank you. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Well, I'm going to do this in order, so I'll do mine. First of all, I want to thank Trustee Simpson for bringing to us the notion of the retreat, bringing that back from a conference, and Trustee Kadia for coming up with a relatively simple icebreaker type of activity that we can use for our very first attempt at this. So thank you very much, both of you. And I'd also like to just comment on a conversation I had with President Spearman today. I'm kind of known sometimes as a sweet and sour patch IT director, board guy, everything in terms of some happy some days and kind of like just stern scientific the other days. The conversation I had with President Spearman today, we came to an understanding of what I'm kind of looking for in terms of not only do I want to know the end game, the end goal in terms of the financials and the enrollment numbers, but somehow how did we get there? And it's kind of like, yeah, whereas it was talking about pillars or the pyramid, the pyramids are beautiful, but I'd like to know how they actually built the pyramids and stuff like that. So how do you achieve your successes? And when he was explaining it to me, he sounded like Bob Trojan talking about the robotics competition. There was an enthusiasm and an excitement, kind of like over here when we're counting on how simple his titles to his speeches were, a smile and a relaxed atmosphere and stuff like that. It was great. I mean, it wasn't a formalized speech or anything. You were kind of, just rambling off all the hows that you and your team were doing to get there. And then I said, it's too much to share with us all the time. If you can give us one or two how a month, we'll be good. So I just thought it was cool because it was something that, as he admitted, previous boards and chairs sometimes have been just focused on just the straight financials or the straight enrollment numbers, but sometimes, some of us want to know, well, what did you actually do to get there? And that comes from my own background where I've been asked by my employers to actually show, how did you achieve that goal? And usually it's a teamwork. And so this is, just pulling in the team and acknowledging the team and the team's efforts and everything. So, and I appreciate that. And it was a good conversation. Thanks very much. So, Jenna.
No comment.
Bob.
I'll take her time plus my time.
Okay. Well, take John's time too.
And John's time too, if you don't mind, John. He already took a lot of time. I do have several things. And thank you, Dr. Spearman, for acknowledging the Veterans Day, which I obviously did attend. Milana Herman, who is the program manager, has been doing an outstanding job with this program that's held every Veterans Day. But a couple days before, I had met a man who is not a veteran, but he is providing meals to veterans 5 days a week, finding donations and finding people to donate the meals. 20 to 25 veterans per night. And if you listen to some of the stories about the condition of some of these veterans, it's really appalling because, we have some homeless veterans right here in Rockford. So I invited him to our Veterans Day and introduced him to Dr. Spearman. And in the process of discussion, we are hopeful that we can form some kind of cooperative venture with him. He is in the process of just about ready to get his 501c3. He's in the process of buying a building where he can provide more services than just meals to the veterans. And his enthusiasm was, as you talked about Dr. Spearman, his enthusiasm for veterans was outstanding. And I give him a lot of credit for doing this on his own. He's not looking for any recognition or nothing. So I just want to add that to the Veteran Day scenario. Number two is that going back to the airport, our tour guide said that, he could hire 25 people right now. And the thought crossed my mind, do we have a wait list at our aviation training? If we have a wait list, should we be looking at somehow expanding the number of courses that could be given to provide more graduates? I mean, something to look at. I mean, I would be interested to know if we still have a wait list, that means there's a demand. If there's a demand, maybe we should fill it by expanding our supply. Anyway, throw that open. The last item is that listening to Dr. Stewart and seeing the growth of the Smart Camp and my involvement with robotics, I thought, I wonder if there was some way that we could incorporate for these Smart Camp students, which are basically middle school, which is a perfect age for kids to get involved with things like robotics, to put together a meeting, which I have now done with Dr. Stewart, Dr. Spearman, and Chris McGee, who is the main cheerleader for the robotics program. We're going to meet and see if there's something that the robotics group can offer to the Smart Camp students with Rock Valley College. So that meeting is going to be this week, and I would hope that we'll have some good outcome, and we'll certainly let you know if we do. But that's the goal, is to see if we can incorporate some robotics into the Smart Camp scenario. That's my report.
And that's a lot of how. So, not just the end results, but how. Before we go on to the trustee reports, you want to jump into your RVC Foundation liaison report?
I can if you want.
Yeah.
The luncheon we had, over 400 people that attended. Obviously, we're going to be looking for a bigger place next year. They're looking for it right now as we speak. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know, there was 40 people that showed up that didn't even register. And so that gives them a bit of a problem trying to accommodate 40 walk-ins. So we're going to be a little bit more diligent next year with registration. It was a big crowd, as I said. We are making available $900,000 for scholarships this coming year, which again is another bump up. And I think that's my report.
Thanks very much.
Oh, one other thing. We are going to be, they will be coming to the board through Ellen and Dr. Spearman for an additional person to work at the foundation because of the growth, the need for more hands. And so, yes, we are going to be asking for, and I have told them that we will support it.
You're coming.
I know John and I will support it, and I'm sure the rest of the board will. Pardon?
All these asks tonight that are off the agenda. Wow. Okay.
Well, you got to throw these things out there ahead of time, right?
Okay.
That's your report, right, Bob?
Pardon me?
That's in your report.
That's in my report.
Okay.
What can he do?
Well, he asked. Why can't I ask?
At the RVC Foundation?
Did you discuss it at the RVC Foundation?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes, it was at our executive meeting the other day.
Okay.
It was brought up, and Brittany brought it up, and we discussed it, and I told him, I says, it was brought up at our board meeting about, in fact, I even said, John Nelson even asked about another person. So I says, between John and I told him we would support it.
You guys are still reliving this New Orleans stuff, aren't you? Really?
Well, that's what happens when you.
They're trauma bonded.
And again, it kind of segue back to trustee comments and Kristen Simpson's bringing to us how retreat and voting type of activities can bring people together in a different way. Trustee comment? Anything for?
I just want to thank everyone for the response over the weekend, and to the staff member who thought to contact the police department and then following through with how they handled it, and for Paul updating all of us what was going on. I appreciated that. And then that's all I have, except for I hope everybody has a wonderful week next week and holiday. That's it.
I did as little as I could. So.
And then I took his time as well. So we are done.
Trustee Nelson,
like that could happen. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman of the Board. I want to try to summarize some of what I learned in the GLI, I think it's called. It was just an outstanding experience. And I got a book that was over 200 pages, the book alone, and I would say the whole seminar was maybe 500 pages worth of information. But the book is quite well indexed, and you can, any potential community college difficulty a trustee has, there's information on how to help in that book. Both Jim Reed, who talked about the possibility of coming and speaking at a retreat, or even getting board members to get to the same page, which happens, which is a necessity a fair amount of times throughout our system with our 40, they talked about 45 community colleges in Illinois. And he pointed out that the services, those services are already paid for in our ICCTA dues. So they do it at no cost. The ACCT admitted they had a cost, but of course they made their same pitch for the same services, and they have, of course, a lot more. They are, the ACCT is truly a national organization, has weight and a lot of resources and a lot of very sharp cookies. And it was a pleasure to be there and try to soak in the knowledge that was available. And like I said earlier, I think every trustee ought to sign up for the that same leadership seminar. And there is one, at least there was last year, in terms of how to lobby that Kristen and I attended last year, which was very good as well. So the whole experience gave me a new enthusiasm and perspective on being a trustee, and I will try to implement that henceforward as best I can. So thank you.
I'd just like to remind everybody that when John and I got on the board, we weren't members of the ICCTA. And the board members that, there was probably two, I think, people, maybe one that was only really sympathetic to maybe getting back on. And so I really appreciate John's leadership and educating us all on the importance of becoming a member of that organization again. So again, that's his love. Bob loves robotics, and other people got their own, pet projects. I don't have anything. I just like coming here. I like y'all.
IT.
Please speak.
IT.
Man, don't be recruiting me for anything else. Personnel report is in there in your packet. Does anybody have any question on it? It's not just for information. We don't have any vote on that. And Freedom of Information Act, the same. Any questions on either report? Going once, going twice, going three times? Nope. We have a brief closed session, and I forgot the section that you're going to have to cue me up at the end of my speech because I gave my notes to Bob. So it was a 2C11? See, there you go, pending litigation.
Age discrimination.
So I entertain a motion to adjourn to closed session to discuss the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees, specific individuals to serve as independent contractors as a park, recreational, educational setting per Section 2C1 and/or collective negotiating matters between the public body and its employees or their representatives, or deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more classes of employees per Section 2C, 2 and/or 3, the purchase or lease of real property for the use of public body, 2C5 and all, and pending litigation, Section 2C11, correct? Thank you very much. All in accordance with the Illinois Open Meetings Act. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Nelson, seconded by Kadia. Roll call.
Udea?
Yes.
Goldsmith, yes. Simpson?
Oh.
Yes.
Nelson?
Yes?
Trojan?
Yep.
Blake?
Yes.
Gorski?
Yes.
Motion carries to
Who gets to
adjourn.
stay?
Vice President Olson, Vice President Jinks, Dr. Huntley, Dr. Smith, and Dr. Stewart are the 5 lucky participants.
I want to thank you all for your reports this evening and your attendance. Thanks very much. And yes, you know, maybe it's part of your, education at that conference. You just tell them how to write more direct room 0214, located in the Educational Resource Center on the main campus. And then, date of the next regular board meeting is December 16th, 2025, 5:15 p.m. The meeting will be held in PER again, 0214, located in Educational Resource Center, ERC, on the main campus. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Trojan, Blake. Roll call.
I got it. Kudia.
Yes.
Goldsmith, yes. Simpson.
Yes.
Nelson.
Yes.
Trojan.
Yep.
Blake.
Yes.
Gorski.
Yes.
We are closed. We are adjourned.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your participation.